Game number 3. We start the recording, we take a look at draft. No trash pickup first 3 from G2. I do not know why they changed that. Big mistake. They get the Kled Jax matchup once again. I think this is favorable for Jax. Kali Silas was pretty whatever. The entire series, we don't have to give a shit about it. Gragas Sejuani matchup. Last game there was Skard and Sejuani ban. This time we see a trash ban. I think it's good because Hirisang has counters into all of the other blind pick supports. And here Mickey decides to pick Braum because they don't want to run into Tristana Braum. The best blind still would be Trash, but they had to pick Kled Trash. That's what's up. I mean, not Kled Trash, they had to pick Kaiser Trash. Just a mistake to pick Kled, for sure. They pick up Sejuani Braum. This is good for playoffs. Sejuani Braum always gives you options to win at later parts in the game. Trying to remember what they last pick. Shen. I was surprised by Shen. I thought they would just straight up fucking pick Leona again. Because I think picking Leona is just better. But this showcased that Fnatic was capable of something else. Like this specific game showcased that Fnatic are capable of doing something else than just playing through bot and making Reckless get fed. But it's very reliant on the fact that Whippo has a good matchup. What do you think, Garen Yumi counter? It's really tilting me, zoned out by these two. Well, ban Yumi, yeah. Just ban Yumi. I want to say fuck Yumi. You can also just go like Kog'Maw Braum. Looks pretty good. Get lifesteal and survive the poke, and then you can actually kill Garen. Vayne is supposed to be countered to those two, but you just get pushed. Get pushed and you die. Back to the draft. I was surprised by Shen. I don't think Shen is particularly good against Braum Kaiser. But always with Fnatic bot lane, they seem to know. They have different opinion of bot lane matchup than anything else. And then Shen with Jax and Akali is always going to be juicy. But I was very surprised here. I was happy with G2 draft when I initially saw it, because I thought this is something that Hirisang not playing Engage, and Shen makes it more like solo lane reliant, and I am not too sold on the solo lanes of Fnatic. Yeah, Reckless Tristana is really juicy. That's why I felt there was a big draft mistake that here they expect Xayah third pick, but they don't need to pick it third. They can easily just pick Jax third, and they have 80 options. Xayah got banned, and then Tristana got picked. They had to blind pick Braum, because they don't want enemy to pick Braum, and bottom matchup is fine. Yes, Shen, you can deny Braum stun for a couple of seconds with your W, that could be fine. You force enemy AD to go cleanse, that's also pretty interesting. And then Reckless Tristana, what's there to complain about? But I think G2 could have won this game if they continued to draft the same way, because enemy had no answer to Thresh. No answer to Thresh. They picked Morgana. Picked Thresh Kaiser once again, leave Kled for second wave. Wunder is not reliant on Kled. Jax got picked third. I think it's a mistake. Another way for G2 to make it easier as well is just to go on red side, but obviously they won the previous game, so Fnatic is happy to be on red side because they can keep counter picking top. If Wunder is in a position where he can counter pick top, all of a sudden Bipple will be in trouble always, because Bipple blind picks are like Renekton, GP, and Aatrox. Aatrox was banned every game, and if they don't have room to ban Kled first 3, so they can always pick Kled third to match Renekton or pick something else into GP. But this is something we saw game 4. Why Jax works so well against G2? It's not that it works so well against G2, it works so well against Kled. G2 opted into Kled Jax matchup too many times. Don't you think that Kai'Sa is overrated as a champ? I think that there are a lot of better late game champions, and personally for me her lane phase is kind of mediocre. Kai'Sa can push. That's what's OP about Kai'Sa, but she can fucking push. She Qs and she fucking executes the wave and she can gain push against a lot of ADs. And on top of that, Kai'Sa don't have any predators. But when I say predators, I mean champions that she struggles to play against. For example, if you play Vayne, people say she's a late game beast, but she struggles against many type of champions. There are many champions that she just has a hard time dealing with. For example, it's hard to play Vayne against Azir. Kai'Sa doesn't have any weaknesses. When you're playing mid, top, jungle, or support, and you see enemy Kai'Sa, support you have options because you can pick Alistar, you can pick Nautilus. These are champions that are good into Kai'Sa. But mid laners hate Kai'Sa. Top laners hate Kai'Sa because she's so fucking mobile, you know? Bot lane, sure, there are counters to Kai'Sa, but in the game state, the reason she scales so good and she's good every game is because she has so many options. She can play defensive, she can kill tanks, she can burst people, she has different builds that she can go that changes the pattern of her playstyle. She's invisible, she has a fucking R that gives her a big shield and gives her an opportunity to reposition. It is just so flexible at any point in the game. It also scales like an absolute fucking monster, and it's very rare that she's a bad pick. In bot, sure, in bot you can counter. Someone in the chat wrote Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is very good into Kai'Sa, but all of a sudden Kog'Maw, if you play Kog'Maw against some specific champions, all of a sudden you can't play. Let's say you play Kog'Maw against Nautilus, for example. Well, you're gonna buy a fucking Banshee? You need to have a Tamkins, you need to have a Morgana. All of a sudden these champions, you need to get shit, you know? The way to kill Kai'Sa is pick one-shot champ like Talon, Nocturne, or Rengar. Oh, so the Kai'Sa needs to be absolutely boosted to get one-shotted, you know, because she has tools to get away. Or the Talon needs to be monster-fed. The same thing you say to counter Kai'Sa are things that can deal with any AD in the game. Oh, Tristana can get one-shot by a fed Talon, Nocturne, or Rengar. Kog'Maw can be one-shot by this. Every AD can be one-shot by this if they are not pressing their fucking buttons. That's why Xayah, Ezreal, and Kai'Sa are picked so often, because they don't have any weaknesses. It's very hard to find a natural predator that just fucking hard destroys Xayah, Kai'Sa, or Ezreal, because they are so mobile, they have so many options, and it's pretty fucking good. Okay, let's continue. Level 1. Fnatic should not do anything fucking level 1. Enemy team is Braum. Fnatic, I wanted them to pull off some more invade action, but this is not the game to do it. I don't remember if this is the one they kind of ran it down and they invaded. Honestly, enemy is Braum. Don't fucking invade against enemy Braum. This is just big int. Jankos killed Q. I don't like it. Don't respect it, don't like it. Q is a big int here from Jankos. Just fucking wait for enemy to face check, auto with Braum, and then you can trigger Sejuani stun very fast here. Kai'Sa gets fucking red buff, and the game is a fucking cocktail. Tristana is on bot wave, so she's not gonna get that punished. But flash of Shen, flash of Gragas, and I think, does Gragas die here? I believe he dies. I do believe he dies. Okay, and that's the first blood for Sejuani. What the fuck are they thinking invading Braum? What, do you have to smoke to invade Braum? Braumovic. Invading Braumovic. Reckless went downstairs and made sure to lose 3 creeps. Maybe Perks didn't lose 3 creeps either. Mickey Braum is something we didn't see in a long time. I think it just picked it as a denial. That was Mickey X's job this game, is to deny Hirisang as much as possible. Brox is pretty fucked in the jungle, but Sejuani is not gonna punish. Sejuani is pretty fucked in the jungle too. Both jungles just fucked. Look at the basing on level 2. I think for Gragas it's better to be fucked than Sejuani to be fucked. Level 2 gank top. Kled warded. Roxa sweeps. Goes for crab. Imagine me level 2 and going for crab. It's a good life. Maybe Gragas can go for 2 crab here. Getting 2 crab. Gragas is so healthy and it's clear. Every game I'm gonna talk about how OP Gragas is. But Sejuani is also fucking OP. Just first clear is rough. He has 2 jungle items now. He was pretty rich because of the first blood. If he doesn't get the first blood, it's also kind of rough for him. Both top lanes TP'd back. Full wards from our dear Sejuani, from our dear Bwipo and Gragas on top side. Bwipo is very safe. Jankos is doing some cross-country work here to get towards bottom side crab, and he's going to be in fine state as well. Predator on for Broxa. No flash for Hilison. Kaiser stuck on bottom wave. They're looking to contest. This might look dangerous. Reckless has W on. Broxa already used Predator, and G2 are just using the window here where Silas is prior to pressure off. Not too big of a problem. Reckless TP's back with pickaxe. It's good to TP back as soon as possible when you can afford an item. You don't want to wait for BF. You don't want to let enemy push out. Fnatic can now freeze the wave. They have a pickaxe advantage, and this is how you punish enemy using cleanse. So this is super, super good for Fnatic. This is something that they can snowball with on bottom. Gragas is matching on bot, level 4 to 3. Silas has TP window. Kali has TP window 2 to match. I think Fnatic should contest this hard. The only problem here is that Hylissang has no flash. Hylissang is looking to contest. Use W to block the stun. Jankos is getting poked. Fnatic should not let go. G2 want to push this in at all cost. Don't fucking let them. Don't let them. Fnatic managed to defend the wave. G2 need to base, and G2 need to be very upset about this. Fnatic keep the freeze. Kaiser bases. She's gonna lose. More CS. Very good situation. G2, Wunder with a good trade on top. Very good situation for Fnatic bot lane here. Very, very good. They keep the freeze. Shen is basing to match the Braum. He's gonna walk down bottom. Reckless is keeping the freeze. Well, obviously with Tristan it's quite hard, so this is going to slowly slow push. On the next cannon it's going to start slow pushing because these range creeps are front lining, so they're gonna die. And the wave position is slightly towards Fnatic side, so I think next cannon is going to make a very, very slow push. But Fnatic managed to get some lead off of the TP here. Reckless walking up a bit too far, but good W here. Tristana, the Braum W, the Braum passive is gone. Jankos with the Ocean. G2 are using the fact that Fnatic froze the wave, and they're going to try to push this in and then walk towards Dragon. I think this is a very slow solo Dragon from Sejuani. Maybe she can do it. Can she do it? Looks like she can do it, but maybe she needs to smite early. That's a smite. This is wonderful for G2 that they are getting an Ocean Drake, because Oceans are OP. Absolutely OP. Great for lane phase. Upside Kled built a slight CS advantage, but it just doesn't matter so much in this matchup. Matchup is giga bad. Here what you can consider also, what I think G2 didn't consider, is they can set Silas top into Jax. I think that's a fine matchup for Silas, and Kled into Akali. But this is something they didn't consider. Maybe Silas matchup is playable for Jax. Oh. So Braum block doesn't really do much against Tristana nor Shen. Shen is a melee attacker, and Tristana E still stacks and explodes and does full damage on Brom. That's a kill, that's a jump. Caps is TPing behind, Nemesis has no TP, he's just pushing mid. And the question here, if they go 1-for-1, is really, really big here. Caps fires the Buster Shot, Nemesis and Ragas are walking in here, and this is an absolute fucking disaster. Jesus. Second ult of Nemesis is pretty troll here though. Do you think people played the Jax Kled lane this game badly, since it's general consensus that it should be winning matchup for Jax? Early Kled can do some things, I think. The further the game goes, Jax is gonna get ahead. The CS differential doesn't matter. Should Fnatic just give them Ocean like that? They didn't know. That's the problem, they didn't know. And also bottom was freezing. Here they cannot chase onto Hillisang, and if they go 1-for-1 here, G2 is very unhappy, that's why. Because Salas is already losing mid wave and he TP'd. To use his TP advantage for 1-for-1 is quite bad. Here Caps gets 1 kill, then they keep chasing. Hillisang lives quite some time. Then here Nemesis, his ult is really troll, but it didn't seem to matter. Caps is also gonna die. And this is such a big deal. They cannot rely on Kled to carry this game. Kali gets a big lead, they TP onto bottom, Tristana gets a kill. This is very good for Fnatic. One for one was already bad. And then they gave 3 kill. I guess the lane matchup is just bad if they can one-shot the Brom. Like Tristana managed to base on BF, and then now they can one-shot Brom. I guess it's just shit. Tristana Shen seems very good into Brom. Today, I guess we learned. Pipo does that smoothly without taking third shot. Very nice. I wonder if he can just stay. Maybe he's respecting. He knows that Wunda is gonna mount up and Joanny is in the area. Because blue buff is on. How Jax doing so well against Kled? I think it's not countered Kled that hard. So Kled has his passive that triggers the first time he autos. And Jax can block all of this. And this is a lot of Jax's damage. On top of that, Jax has a very good time itemizing in a 1v1 matchup. Trinity Force is perfect. He gets CDR and then Spear of Sojin, and Kled cannot use these items as well. On top of that, I think Jax's ultimate is just stronger than Jax's for this. Just that the dodge is just too powerful. Dodge is too powerful, and that's it. Jax can start hitting the wave. Kled can't hit the wave because he's gonna trigger his passive. He needs to trade the moment the wave comes. Jax is on the wave. Then Jax will tank all the creeps and do more damage with his E, and it's just superior trading pattern for Jax. And then what champions are good against Jax? Kali is good against Jax. Kali is a good counter. Rumble is a good counter. Range champions like Cannon, Nico is good into Jax. But of course, if Jax gets items and he is ahead, then he's going to win against everything. It's all about punishing him early as much as possible. Chase is really good. Range champions in general are good against Jax. Vladimir, I think you can play into Jax and win. Fiora is a skill matchup, I believe, that you can play into Jax. Renek is fine, yeah, Renekton is fine. Okay, so in the current game state, Fnatic is really, really fine. Because now all the windows to all in top should be gone, Bwipo should be winning. He has Shen ult if anything happens. Bottom matchup we found out is very, very difficult, and Sylas got really fucked when he TP'd. So here they are very, very happy. Broxa recovered better than Sejuani, but jungle matchup doesn't matter too much. That's a Shen TP. Wunder is looking to outplay. He outplayed. Very good flash. Shen has no flash. So if Wunder flashes the Shen taunt, then he should be fine every time. Wunder is gonna have ult back up. Maybe he can go. I wonder here if Wunder can just go. But I guess maybe they kill him. Shen can maybe survive with W, something like this. So G2 fuck up with draft again? I believe yes. Just not picking Thresh first 3 and blinding Kled into Jax is a big problem. Very, very bad. They shouldn't do this. I was waiting for people to pick Fiora and dumpster the Kled pick. Maybe Jax is harder than Fiora. Yeah, this was definitely a draft problem. Just look how the trades are going. So here, Kled has one of the best items in the game for a 1v1 like this. And then just Jax just has a better damage output. After Kled passive is gone, he can't really get away, and Jax can just keep chasing. There's a massive cocktail 1-for-1. Broxa stopwatches for some reason. Does Jankos die off of this? But anyway, this 2v2 is quite desperate. Jax is also good against Sejuani because you don't stack passive as fast because of the dodge. And Bwipo is away. He stopwatch turret shot? Yeah, but he died anyway, right? But I guess, like, the point is more that he survived long enough. Yeah, I know he stopwatched the turret shot, but unless Jax is killing Sejuani there, it's not worth it to stopwatch. Yeah, it was good. It was good stopwatch. It's just hard to find options, honestly. I think probably the best option that G2 underutilized was trying to fight 2v2 mid, but even this game is so fucking hard because Shen. So whenever Shen is winning his matchup bot, that's a big disaster. Like whenever a global champion is winning his lane, that's really, really a big deal. Tristana Shen was doing a big deal. I mean, a great deal. G2 is going for the second ocean, but this is not going to be that impactful anymore in the game. What do you think of Nemesis Akali? Good early, good lane phase. Plays kind of risk-free, and then just sucks. Like pretty bad in team fights. I think Akali is very hard to play, and he doesn't know how to play team fights that well. Like 1 out of 5 team fights he plays well. Game is over now because of Jax. Well, he uses Herald on top as well now. He uses Herald, spawns it. He's going to be even further ahead. If he breaks first tower here, maybe he can. I'm not so sure. Sad that the Rift Herald is being used after the platings, but Jax is monster fed. Kled has good CS state, but let's say gold wise they are a bit close to even now, but it's still the matchup is just bad for Kled, I believe. Gonna base on Trinity Force, have better items, and then just win. How did Broxah die? I completely missed it. I'm sorry. What do you think of Nemesis TF? It's really, really insane. Just Broxah face checking, you know, to defend in the bottom. G2 have full control of this space. Tristana is still on bottom wave. It's just a good way of forcing. Good pick up from G2. Tristana showing on bottom wave, like Fnatic can just respect it a bit longer. Can use ult. People took top tower with this rift. So he managed to get first tower gold. Got it all by himself. Like, meaning not that he didn't get it with the help of his team, more like that he got the gold by himself. What's special about Nemesis TF? Well, he understands the timings, he knows how to survive lane phases. He respects a lot, which you need to do with TF. He dies very rarely to ganks and waits for his team, which, as silly as it sounds, is a tough thing to do. It's very easy to die with TF. And team fights, he does good cool cards. It's just a good TF pick. Yeah, I think his playstyle suits TF very good. Yeah, I agree. Another ocean. Jax is pushing up very, very far. His 20 was finished. He's going to win the split. Akali is in decent state. Salas is in decent state. Akali is further ahead on XP though. Sejuani is showing on mid. I'm not sure why Caps is off tempo so much. Basing and the wave is crashing very soon. So this gives Fnatic a window to push mid and go into bottom, because Salas is not showing on mid wave. Sejuani is instead showing on mid wave, and Gragas is first on bot. This is not Fnatic for Fnatic to just take the turret. There any pick you'd like to see played by G2 or Fnatic? Nothing in particular, honestly. Eventually, Kled just survives 1v1 against Jax though. No, like he doesn't win, but won't be able to be dove on the turret. The thing is, Jax will just hit the tower. Jax will hit the tower 1, 2, 3 times and then get out and then slowly just chip away and take inhib. You know? In some cases, if Jax is monster fed, was a problem. Emo, the Renekton was game changing into Akali last game. They picked Renekton into Sylas. That's what Frost said on cast as well. It's incorrect. Wipo could definitely walk up and hit the tower more. Kled, of course, is not going to get dove in most scenarios, but Jax is going to have full prio, he's going to chip away at the tower. On top of that, enemy AD carry has TP, something that was very underutilized. I think this series was just TP onto bottom. Like Jax can take a tower in front of Kled quite fast. And he has Shen ult. They can definitely set up some dives on Kled this game. Jax will chip away at the tower, always. We will see later, Bippo was playing a bit too afraid. He could be way more aggressive in his approach. This is something that maybe they could have done earlier in the game, but this was just Jax was not showing on top, Shen ulti was on. Everything about it was just bad, this attempt to try to pressure the game. I do feel like G2 feels like they're getting suffocated in this game because they're losing everywhere. And I've noticed many times Caps tries to make some things happen when they're losing on both bottom and top. That's the case right now. But that was a bit overforced. Fnatic extended the lead. Tristan's gonna go into mid. They can wait until Shen cooldown is off. There's a lot of CDR, so it's not that bad. There's Ionian and CDR from warding item. I doubt he's playing Cosmic Insight. Maybe he's playing Cosmic Insight actually, because it's Flash on Shen is so OP. Maybe that's what people do. They play Cosmic Insight Shen. Maybe someone can confirm or deny. They think that the Shen pick was executed well by Healy. Yeah, he's a great Shen. Managed to win lane, and for me, always Shen is weak lane phase, but Healy-sang always proves me wrong. So these guys will get spotted doing third Ocean. Tristana has TP on. Tristana's channeling, Jax is channeling. Rosek is one-shotted. Jankos dies as well. Here Nemesis made a mistake. He has passive on, he didn't auto-queue. So he wastes one passive. But it doesn't matter. Fnatic are taking the fight away. Bottom tower is dead, they can chase further. He's gonna be a lot slower when he gets dismounted, but he's quite lucky with his HP there. People trolling a bit. Here, Braum and Kaiser position is very good. Shen is out of position. A one shot, and then yeah, Perk's flash is pretty useless here. I think here Perks needs to kite downwards instead of upwards. Downwards, and then you need to be in position to flash across the wall or downwards. But maybe it doesn't matter. Braum is honestly pretty useless in this game against enemy team. Just does nothing. Does nothing against Tristana, Akali. I don't think you care too much if you're Akali. You can block one Q, but you can still get passive. So I think Braum not so useful this game. Lane matchup seemed bad. Even if Berg's position is better there, I don't know if it matters. I think if you don't win a fight like this in this position, game is just lost. That's what's crazy about Spirit Sojin. Like this case, Jax is fat so he can T-fight, but with Spirit Sojin, Jax is a fucking monster in fight. Why does Victor and Yorick not see more picks into Bruiser being played top lane? Because you can't blind pick. Braum Ara is pretty good versus enemy team. Well, it's not really good. Why is it good? Because Braum Ara is a good spell. It's not really good, particularly good against enemy team. Like the slow is unnoticeable. I don't really care about Braum ultimate here. Like Braum ult is just a spell that has equal impact towards everyone, I think. The Dragonfly bad for G2 or Jackson says just too fat? I think Jackson says to just too fat, no? How do they play the game? I just don't know. I don't see how G2 can play the game. They lose 5v5, lose split, lose mid. Just go next. People trolled here. Oh, did they troll? I think G2 afterwards trolled because they keep going. Not such a fancy Gragas ult versus 2 items. Game is lost. Game was over at 2-0 Jacks. Yeah, probably. Outdrafted. Yeah, indeed. I think G2 just outdrafted themselves. Fnatic struggled a lot though to do Nash. That was a big problem of theirs. Oh, Reckless Flash. It's not correct. I don't think I can one-shot it. Maybe they could do something to pressure Kaiser. I don't think he needs to flash. So here G2's problem was, I mean, Fnatic's problem was that they have a hard time face checking this space here. Maybe they should have just went for it, because honestly they're just so fed that maybe they don't need to give a shit. Because always what G2 does on blue side is that they defend, they put some wards, they make sure that they have some space, and they try to bait the enemy to face check them and then get a fight that is probably the best fight they can get. And then if enemy starts Nash, they have a path towards Nash to try to contest and try to find a steal or a good fight while enemy is low from Nash. So this is something that G2 likes to do a lot, but Fnatic are kind of missing the mark here on trying to contest the space. I still think with their champions they can survive that initial engage from enemy because of Shen W. Shen W and Jax E just counters Braum Sejuani, honestly. So I really, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I like the Shen last pick, especially because it wins lane. Just Shen W is so good against Braum and Seju. Super good. Good against Kled as well. You just deny his whole passive. So it's Fnatic's draft is the more and more we see in this game, the more and more it makes sense. Nemesis could go on bottom and play with Kled. I think Nemesis should win pretty hard. He has so big items. Nemesis is monster fed. I feel like Nemesis is so fucking fed, but it was just so fucking unnoticeable in the game. Like Akali here, like if you see Akali like this in Soulkey, you want to just fucking go next. I think Nemesis groups way too much. He could be pushing bottom, he could extend his lead and maybe even fucking kill the Kled. Jax is finally bottom, his TP is coming online. Jax is grouping onto mid. I don't think it's necessary. I think he can keep pushing. Kaiser has no TP. Sana has TP. I think they can be a bit more creative in the way they approach the game here, Fnatic. They can definitely pressure bot a lot more. They should pressure mid, bottom and Nashor at the same time. They should try to contest enemy blue side space with the wave prior, because Kled is clearing this by himself. They can easily just commit on him if they want and push him out. Use Gragas for something. Or they can just keep pushing bot. They can even send Tristana bot if they want to. They have a lot of TP powers, and I guess the only thing they have to be afraid about is G2 forcing Nash. But yeah, rip. I think G2 played this more patient and they didn't die like this. Then maybe... Do they die? I don't remember if they die. Jax gets away on mid. They don't die. Why Jax don't have timeout to clear fast waves and camps? He doesn't need timeout, he pushes fast enough. Trinity Force and Spirit of Sojin are just way too important as items, so you don't want to delay them at all. It's the same on Renekton, people don't buy timeout anymore because Spirit of Sojin is just too important. On Kled you can't buy Spirit of Sojin, so it makes more sense because you kind of want Titanic Hydra anyway for auto attack reset to proc your passive as soon as possible. And Kled actually struggles with pushing the wave. They don't want to 1-3-1 against a 5-man Kled run down mid into the 3. Well, they can survive it and they have TPs, and if enemy forces teamfight on such conditions, meaning Kled ult, then I think they would lose. They would lose 5v5. Fnatic are just delaying this game so much. They struggle to do Nash when Hylissang is not playing on playing Engager. Playing Shen now with no flash, he is not an Engager. You can see some weaknesses here of Fnatic's gameplay. They start 2-man Nash. The Johnny Brom are checking, no problem. They went all the way to Nash. Out of the pit. It reeks of desperation. TP on Akali, TP on Jax, TP on and they have Shen. I just think they could do so much more. Like this Perf is anything. Where is he basing here? What's up with his recalls? The recalls were absolutely bonkers, man. Here, if Nemesis starts with E, then maybe Perks is fucked. Because I think Perks should die here. Why he doesn't die? Or maybe starts E and then rip. Jax is pushing on bottom. No need to rush Nashor here. Nemesis is taking way too much damage for some reason. I don't know what he's getting destroyed by. He's tanking the Nash and he gets hit by Kaiser W, it seems. It's half HP. No need to start Nash. Jax, I think he can hit the tower a bit more. Doesn't need to be so scared. Hit tower once even and then go out. It's completely fine. Even if Kled ults you after you E and hit the tower once, I think you win all in. Because your champ is just better at this point. So what Fnatic want to do is just push mid all the way, step into enemy blue side jungle, then trap potentially. But they just keep starting Nash. Keep starting Nash. And Jankos is always on blue here, so it's very, very easy. Blue trinket is used. I'm curious to see how many blue trinkets G2 actually has. They have 2 blue trinkets and 2 sweepers. Kled could even do a blue trinket as well if he wanted. Here is also another good thing that G2 do. Whenever they have a small window to get vision, they always go for it, just to delay Fnatic's play. Like G2's goal in this game is to make it as hard as possible for Fnatic to win and hope that they fuck up. That's the only way they win. And they managed to delay this game for a very long time. Perks made the first force mistake because he lost flash. But Fnatic never managed to take control over enemy blue buff space. They also didn't really accomplish anything with their global power here in this game. And even though Kled is He's not gonna get dove. He should lose part of his tower and then eventually the inhib. Then here is Perk's big mistake. He has no flash from before. He gets E'd and he cleanses very late, I believe. Look at Jax go. Jax is a monster. And it's W on from ult. Bippo has TP. If he gets too low, he can TP back. But next we see Akali fighting as well. Caps maybe could react faster with his E, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. That's correct what I'm saying. Caps low HP. And Fnatic turned their attention to Nashor right away. No ultimates on for G2. Looks like a free Nash to me. Just disengage on mid, finally give Fnatic the confidence to step into enemy camp all the way. And now they're hitting Nash's 5. Does time favor Fnatic? Why Fnatic hesitate taking the Baron? Because the only way to lose the game is that if enemy forces fight on Nash and they lose Nash. So they're just taking it slow. I think they could have pushed harder on bottom, and then I think they could have pushed more aggressively into enemy blue side jungle. It's difficult, you know. It's easy to be scared against Sejuani Brom to face check them, but I think Shen W is really OP against it. I think they can go for it. I think Jax probably could accomplish more on bot, and then Nemesis could be bottom while Jax had no TP. I think they slowed down the game big time. Then now they finally got a pick and they just forced Nash. Their Nash is super fucking fast if they start hitting it. So I think if they just manage to clear full blue side jungle, Shen positions to taunt and to do a counter engage, then they can go, you know. But G2 was always on their own blue buff. Always, always, always. And sure, you could also say Fnatic is just playing it safe, because the further this game goes, the harder it will also be. Unless, like Kaiser, 6 items is enough to carry the game. But Tristana is so fucking far ahead, and Jax is so far ahead that they can wait for another big item spike. Here I think Bippo should buy some kind of lifesteal. I think Death's Dance is a great buy. But you don't get any value from the CDR, so maybe you just go a Gunblade. I'm a big fan of Death's Dance on Jax too, because you have a lot of mixed damage, and Death's Dance works on mixed damage. Yeah, the thing is they can match, you know. Like right now, Bippo doesn't need to go too aggressively. He doesn't need to trade with Kled because no one's showing. Like as long as his team are hitting turrets and 2 people are missed, he doesn't need to do anything on bot. This is just a forced mistake of Bippo. Sure, I said that he needs to split on bottom, but if he's pulling another person and he's making that guy go miss and his team can pressure off of that, that's perfect. But here, enemy team is not defending. Tristana is about to hit tower with a big wave. He just doesn't need to be the aggressor here. This mistake slows down Fnatic's gameplay by a lot. Tristana level 17. Double TP. Actually, it wasn't double TP. I just don't see Akali position. Okay, Akali flank. Here, Spirit of Sojin is ticking down, so maybe the stopwatch is just bad from Jax, because here, if Jax keeps hitting, maybe he can just get another E off and keep fighting. Wunder is punching away on Broxa. Here, I think Fnatic fight is just way too scattered. Because here Akali should just wait, and then stopwatch is on, and then they can start hitting Wunder. He's pretty committed, he's pretty deep, and then they can keep the fight being played slow. But instead they overforce, Nemesis goes in, he gets one-shotted. This is one of the biggest criticisms I have on Nemesis. He just doesn't know how to play team fights that well. This was a big disaster here. Here, like, look at this position. So Bwipo baits a lot here. He baits a lot and then Kled commits. Here, if Nemesis doesn't go and Fnatic just hit Wunder, they won the fight. Nemesis goes. Kled being committed has nothing to do with Akali being committed. Akali being committed came after Kled committed. Kled commits because his team is committing on Jax, right? But the moment Jax stopwatches, it turns into a big, massive bait. Maybe going on Jax is not possible in the first place because they don't have a lot of hard CC that can go through the E of Jax. He's also running Sterax, so it's really hard to kill the fucking Jax. So 1-for-1, considering game state, G2 is happy. Roxo was cheating on the wall, but it doesn't really matter. All of his teammates can jump. They saw enemy hitting Nash, that's why they went, but Alex gets killed here. Insane ult from Reckless. Bwipo's still monster fed. That's Elder. G2's position is still, they just need to wait for enemy mistake. But it's so hard. Fnatic have to do a lot of mistake for it to not work. But the Nemesis just going in when he doesn't need to is a big problem. I really don't know why he's buying void stuff as well. Like, he should just get Zonya so he can play with the enemies a bit more. Like, void stuff is fine. Zonya 6th item just feels off on Akali. It's such a good item on Akali. Especially with how good Nemesis is on the champ. Like, why doesn't he just go Zonya Banshee and go tanky Akali and just engage for Reckless? He's not a player that can utilize that cap Liandry Void. Like, he just doesn't. It smells like butter. G2 got pushed all the way down mid. They can't contest. Okay. Shen was a fantastic pick, honestly. Shen, Jax, biggest counters to Sejuani Braum. Big counter to Sejuani Braum. Best chance G2 have is just try to look for an engage, but it's so hard. Asperasojin is a funny item. Okay, that was game 3. Just Jax 2-0 closes down completely one avenue of gameplay. Tristana Shen were winning their matchup pretty hard when Shen is 6. You can't win recover 2v2 top, you can't recover 2v2 bottom, and then Tristana, Shen, Gragas was just too strong in the 3v3. After that, game is pretty lost. Fnatic farmed more efficiently. They won the fights. It's too hard for G2 to recover. They get outscaled too. It's super interesting though. Super interesting, the interaction with Shen W and Jax E against Sejuani Braum. You always say this meme about Sejuani Braum being so OP, but you can't apply any of your stacks. It's pretty big. All right, that was game 3. I've done 3 games now, and I can feel myself getting more and more tired the longer I do this. So I always like to take a bit of a break before I continue continue doing 2 more games. With that being said, I think I'm going to call it there, and then probably do the rest of the games tonight. And then I also really like doing, not really like, but I think I should start doing kind of like a recap of the series and give some expectations of what we think we can expect from G2 and Fnatic at the World Championship, weaknesses and strengths. I think I want to do a video like that. I keep it kind of short and concise, 20 minutes. And then we will preview some of the top contenders coming into the World Championship, like IG, FPX, RNG, Team Liquid, and C9, and CG, probably like the major regions. And then maybe we'll do some research about some of the other teams. I think that could be fun. You know, we review the best of 5 and look at the strengths and weaknesses, and it could be a fun way to learn about all these teams. With that being said, all the best to you. What about TSM at Worlds? Yeah, if they went to Worlds, they would win Worlds because Rogue didn't qualify. Anyway, all the best to you, all of you. I will upload everything on YouTube, of course. I'll catch you guys later, probably. Yeah, I'll do the last 2 games later. We will make them. We'll put them together, upload them on YouTube for everyone that can't watch the stream, and then we'll do some recap videos in regards to G2 and Fnatic. Bye bye. I love you. Bye bye.